Hello, welcome everyone to our Live and Learn series. This is about Ian Berry's exhibit, Splendid Isolation, Art in Denim. My name is Tricia Carey and I'm Director of Global Business Development for Denim at LENZ. We transform trees into TENCEL, lyocell, and modal fibers, which are used by leading denim mills and brands around the world. To learn more about TENCEL Denim, you can visit our Carved in Blue blog or follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. To see amazing denim videos from our mill and brand partners, our series on Headspace, and conversations like these, check out our YouTube channel, Blue LENZ. Today, I'm joining you from New York City, but I will be taking you across the Atlantic to the Netherlands, and we will step into the Museum Rijswijk at The Hague to meet with renowned artist Ian Berry, who will guide us through his latest work called Splendid Isolation. British artist Ian Berry conquers the art world with his virtuoso collages that he makes from denim. And at first glance, the works appear to be hyper-realistic paintings or photographs in blue tones. But up close, you can see that the works are very precisely constructed from several layers of jeans fabrics in many shades of blue. Berry has had solo exhibitions in all continents, and he lived in Amsterdam for a number of years, but never before has his work been shown extensively in a Dutch museum. Museum Rijswijk shows a generous selection from a number of series that Ian Berry has made in recent years. There will also be new work that he will create in the coming year. Just like you, the museum, and everyone around us, the corona pandemic has had a huge impact on his daily life. Ian Berry made a worldwide appeal to capture this special period at home with a photo. This project, Stay Behind Closed Doors, will be on view during the exhibition at the museum through April 5th. So we're very excited today to have a live walkthrough with Ian Berry of his most recent exhibit. And at the end, we will open for questions, but Ian will take us through, tell us a little bit more about his inspiration, the projects he's been working on. So I will open it up now to Ian.
Hey, Tricia. Hello, everyone.
Hi, great to see you.
So first of all, thank you for supporting me for quite a few years and bringing me together with a lot of the denim community as well as supporting the show, supporting I Clap for earlier in the video with a very generous donation. I can see it behind you there.
Yes, I have my Ian Berry right here behind me.
Welcome to Museum Rijswijk. It's just outside The Hague. It's the town. Go to the end of the road and you can see The Hague 5 minutes away. And it's been a very, very busy few days, let's say. We opened and I just had a meeting with the curator. We were just talking about the opening, and only 30 people were allowed per 2-hour section. And I still didn't get around to talk to everybody. But as we spoke about before, what was fantastic is a lot of the Dutch denim community, whether the Dutch or a lot of people, from different nationalities in the Netherlands, work here in Holland, and a lot of those came out to support, which was fantastic. So you're in the main room right now, the main hall.
So how big is the museum, Ian? How large is it?
I don't know, medium size.
Okay.
Well, I'll show you around.
Okay, great.
This is the main hall, which I will
lovely.
get closer later on. I was just having a little rest on the sofa, which is my living room. Like I think we've had an interview in my living room before.
Yes.
I think Moshin was telling me to do this, and you'll end up seeing me in the mirror.
Yeah.
So it's mine. Like I've got this leather sofa, these mirrors back in England, and the rest of the living room. And obviously the bed isn't in the living room, but you've got the bed here. You've got my son Elliot when he was only 6 months old, and he's now 6.
Oh, I love it. That's
all
great.
all these denim plants. You've got albums everywhere. So my wife always having to sleep alone. So those two pieces are from 2016, and from the body of work Behind Closed Doors, which I was revisiting this year, and then obviously COVID hit and things became very, very different. We've got a record collection here, which is a lot of it brought from the Soho Records, which I believe you've seen in London before. And,
yes.
Thanks, Michelle. Hi. But actually, it actually plays. But on the opening, I couldn't get it working, and quite a famous Dutch singer was helping me do it, and then I realised that the plug wasn't in. So, yeah, Denim furniture, and it's probably going to jump a project. But you see here is the view out of my window, and it was the first clapping hands. Oh, there you go.
Oh, wonderful! Wow.
Yeah. And you step back. So a lot of things have been going around Instagram, but there's so much in the museum that hasn't been shown yet. You can't really see above it, but you see Canary Wharf, which is my view, but you kind of see my reflection there.
Yeah.
You go around, I think you might have seen this piece before.
I think, did you bring that one to New York Denim Days?
I don't think so, but I'm trying to think. Okay. It's been shown a few times. It was bought quite a few years ago, and the clients let us borrow it quite a lot. I mean, that's it. Most of the work in this show is all borrowed from clients.
Okay.
So the one on the left you'd seen before, and this one I did during lockdown. And you see it kind of has a different meaning right now.
Right.
And if I had €1 for every single time someone said, "Oh my God, it's so much better in real life,"
I know. I was going to say that
so
too.
much richer. I would be so much richer than selling the work.
I know. For anyone who hasn't seen Ian Berry's work in person, you really must try to get to see it, because the dimension, the beauty, all of the work that you put in, and the details. Ian has the details in everything, and you can see the layers that he has created in order to give the dimension to the painting and really bring it to life. And I think for so many of us, the color blue means so many things and dimensions in our own life. But what you've done, Ian, and I love it when you use belt loops and you use side seams in such a way to augment the work. Amazing.
Back again. So this is the latest piece. Very professional of me. I finished it on the morning of the opening. So you see it's like a mirror image of my living room, because all my shoots, as you know, were cancelled on the first week of lockdown. Yeah. And it's I started to see what was around me, and I love this area of my living room. You see, Amy liked this the other day, the Denim Dudes book. And
oh, wow, that's great.
Hayden, there's a sculpture there. This is Not a Bomb by Hayden Keynes, who's a friend of mine. And we all were getting these plants as well during lockdown. So it was, rather than going out, I don't know if this is a character trait of me, but I lived in Sweden. I was always flying to London thinking, right, I've got to do London work. Then when I moved to London, I was always flying to America, doing works in America. It was always this psychology that I've always got to go somewhere else. And then I think during lockdown, I realized more what was around me. So there are some visitors just coming now. So I'll stay away because I don't have my mask on.
All right.
And it became law on Tuesday here to have a mask on. And I got so many different gifts of masks.
I mean, I love what you did here. The detail for the floor is amazing.
Right. I'm just going to go and show the next room. Hey. And you might recognize this lady. So I haven't actually put this online yet.
Yeah, I know. It was hard. And we should say, Ian, I sent a series of photos where I was smiling. So it was really hard.
Yeah, I was like, someone looking miserable and sad. Yeah, so people who are in here might recognize Solomon from Lifetime Twill.
Uh-huh, right.
Great guy. Other denim-based ones, Hassan from Daniaki, who paints on all the selvage denim jackets. And you see lasered behind. The friends from Tonello have been working overtime and lasered all this.
Wow. Fantastic.
So what I wanted to do is like really, and practically you're the first ones to see this because I've not shared it because I'm like, well, if I share everything, I've got nothing to share when I get home. So I wanted to bring in a lot of different people because I was really touched how many people actually, I don't want to say entered, but submitted different ones. You might recognize up here.
Oh yes, Sandeep, very nice.
And
who was that with the yoga?
So that's my friend in San Francisco doing yoga, and my friend Nathan took it with his wife Angelique, and they just moved into this really beautiful apartment in San Francisco. So where she's looking, it's all the way down to San Francisco Bay, but you still kind of feel trapped in.
Yeah, I love the cat looking out the window.
You've met Lucinda here. No, you didn't come to the opening of the Secret Garden. So she was the reason why the Secret Garden became the Secret Garden, because to photograph my work is so hard, but she came and photographed the Secret Garden in New York. And for me, that's what made it. It brought, because I came back and all my photos were not that good, and I got hers. And without her, I don't think the Secret Garden would be what it was. I had a lecture yesterday, and all students saying, "Do you know Banksy? Do you know Banksy?" Well, this was his assistant in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
They're playing games. Just go around talking about street art. This is Martha Cooper, and she was the reason why street art became famous. One of the reasons became famous in the 80s. All the street artists used to tag trains and tell them where they're going to be, and she would plan to be by a bridge or something and get the snap. So she has lots of books out, and she sent one because, like you, she's in New York. Well, you're outside New York now, but
yeah.
And the clapping was going on there till, probably about 12, 13 weeks, maybe even longer in New York, and every night, 7 o'clock. And she loved it.
Yeah, that's great.
Moving along from Netherlands, a friend who had a baby and couldn't see the grandparents. Sydney, I'm not going to go through them all, but this one I think is really sad because she's a weightlifter from Australia. She was a ballerina, a gymnast, and she broke a leg. And she did this research and she found, because she's such a smart girl, she found that gymnasts make really good weightlifters. And she missed out in Brazil, Rio Olympics, by 1 kilogram, I think. I stayed up to watch her in Fiji. She's the Australasia champion. And she was going to Tokyo, and obviously Tokyo got all cancelled or postponed until next year. So she sent this one while she's like kind of, trying to keep focused in the studio. And I know about that because this year has been really, really tough. Always thinking things are going to get cancelled, postponed. And, in the end of the year, everything that I had going on, but I had to navigate all COVID rules. So this is Jenny Bevan, and the reason I'll talk about her is in a second, but she won the Oscar for costume design for Mad Max, and also won in the 80s, I think. And she's a OBE or MBE and a friend of mine, and she's the reason why I ended up doing the Pin Your Thanks project. And her housemate actually sent this, looking very, very sad, almost sadder than yours. And then you might recognize this guy. Yes. A bit younger, a bit less grey, but this is, I think I did this in 2014. In fact, yeah, it says it there. And strangely, I've not even looked at all the signs. So as I said, a lot of the work is borrowed work back from clients. And this is one of the only pieces of mine that never sold. Nobody wants me. No. I don't think my gallery doesn't. My gallery always tries to avoid selling it from what I know, and they don't think I should sell it. So I will leave this room. I'll let these people go past. Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you.
We saw it on television. We especially come here to see it.
Oh, no, thank you. On the TV last night.
Yeah. 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was on. Yeah, I think, yeah.
It's very nice.
Oh, thank you, Bill. Yeah,
That's great.
We have TV commercials on primetime television every night, which is crazy. You'd think it was on like some obscure digital channel or something, but no. So you're also going to get a little bit of a debut of something here as well. This is the project I did with Jenny Bevan, and it's a denim jacket from Black Horse Lane, from my friend Han, and then we embellished it. Inside is actually written notes from people like Stephen Fry and I think Helen Mirren.
Amazing. Oh, you had told me that you were working on this. Great to see how it came together.
I actually did this before in the clapping, and I've never shown it because it turned into this bigger project. We're going to auction it. And obviously emotions have changed since lockdown. We've gone through waves of being thankful and not, and now it doesn't seem cool to actually say thanks. But yeah, so this, you see, and iClap4 actually helped with this because we've got different answers, you see, like to represent postmen, electricity workers even, delivery drivers, taxi drivers, the underground travel people, I'm trying to think of some obscure ones, like here's you got the prison service. If you see this one, it's the prison service with nobody was really saying thank you for them, and a friend answered the prison service and he lost quite a lot of friends who work there.
Yeah.
And then you see here you've got my badge, which I believe sold quite well over the weekend. And then you've got Ringo Starr. How focused it is. Joe Lycett, who's a famous TV presenter. Rita, I was going to say Rita Ora, but no, it's my mind's gone blank. I do that often, but there's kind of a few famous people in England and me. Emily Sandé. Thank you. I just had Rita Ora in my head for some reason. So I will do this for a second. You can see it's got one of the welcome signs, and if you see up here, you've got LENZ in there as well.
Oh, great.
No,
wonderful.
TENCEL.
Yes.
Thank
you.
Tonello
Thank you for that.
and obviously as well, Pepe Jeans supported this. And Pepe had been buying my work since about 2013. So then they were loaning some and then came in to sponsor the exhibition, which helped on the TV commercials and getting a lot of things going. A little side thing is we have a shop which is curated by ones like myself. So we've got, I don't know if you know Sylvia from the Denim Window. She's done the Denim Dog.
I love Sylvia's things. Yes, shout out to Sylvia.
Yeah, well, she might be on actually. I had dinner with her the other night, which was a lot of fun. And then different books, and it looks like somebody just bought one because it's not here. The cone bags. There's another one in the corner. Big shout out for Cone for supplying a lot of material as well. And sorry, probably people are going dizzy. Also the clapping hands, which I will show outside. And I think Sportswear International, where I think, isn't there a picture of you in there?
Oh yes, you had the photos of everyone from the, Yeah,
I know you like that photo. So I will take you upstairs and walk past like this. It looks like it's clapping.
Oh, the wall looks great. I love that.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
So, right, bear with me a second while I go upstairs.
Now, also posted here from Emily, pinyourthanks.org. You can see the full set of pins. That's
I'm thinking Clive might be in here. So where we are in Holland is very close to Delft, which a lot of people mention with my work. Delft pottery, which is like this. You know, when you go to Amsterdam, a lot of the tacky tourist shops going to have things about this. But it's like really nice pottery, so we're making a link between that and some plants. But then I'm going to swap this around. No, hang on.
Okay.
No, because you'll all see it on the computer, so I'll do it this way. Now can you see?
Yes, we can see the secret garden.
So,
Yes.
so bear in mind that was a big tree outside, a beautiful garden, and just some information. Henrik Tollen used to live here. He was a famous poet. He did the national anthem of the Netherlands. And strangely, we showed the house in the extra room, and then this is his house. So you come in, and you've got the secret garden here.
It's
all
amazing
helped by
how
Tonello.
it looks different than when it was in New York. That space that it's exhibited in, you know, it brings another level of dimension to it. Truly
It's
an
like the top bit
incredible
of
piece.
New York, and it feels a lot more like art here, if I can say that.
Yes. Yes.
Because it's just hanging from a roof, and it's quite big. So a big shout out to Nicola at Tonello, because he was lasering all these, you see.
Wow.
And we got them 2 days before the show, and I was up on the ladders, and a lot of museum staff. They have brilliant staff here who helped me install, and other friends who are helping me make a lot of flowers. I know. So you know, something about me is like, that I don't like social media that much. But the benefit of it is that I find out that I know somebody in every single town, no matter how small. So in my quarantine town, I across the canal ended up being a denim designer that I know. I didn't half knew, so he's helped a lot. Jonathan Christopher. I don't know if do you remember the Global Denim Awards in
Yes.
the first time? He was the first winner of that.
Oh, okay.
So I met him that night, and then 5-6 years afterwards, I think I sent him an invite, and he said, "Oh, where are you staying?" I was like, "Rotterdam." I said, "Oh, I'm close. I'm in Schiedam." And then I was like, that's where I'm staying. And he was literally across the canal.
Amazing. Small world.
Yeah. Again, the details.
I love that piece. And I haven't seen it in person, only through the photographs, so I can only imagine what it's like in person.
It's a lot flatter than my usual work, but it's all like, for people watching, it's no bleach, there's no dyes, other than what's maybe in the denim manufacturing itself. But all this is unusual for my work because it's kind of all one layer of jeans. It's all found bits. And it's this bit which took me ages.
So how many hours for a piece like that, Ian?
I've been answering that question all day. I can work 16-hour days. So if I say, okay, this took me 3 weeks, it's a little bit unfair on my timing. You know me a little bit. I'm probably always a little bit late with projects because it always takes longer. But yeah, let's just say the time consuming, and sometimes it takes about half a day to find one little piece.
Right.
This was a sister piece to the one we were just looking at. This one's not sold because somebody was buying it, and then on the first day said, "I'll buy that," and then backed out afterwards. So the good thing is we're able to show in the museum. And my friend's house in Palm Springs.
Lovely, really amazing. And so the secret garden that you have there, it's not the same pieces from the New York exhibit, or just some of them?
No, the issue with it is Tonello send it all packed up really nicely, and then when we take it down, it starts to fray, and it becomes like background. So a lot of it in New York Secret Garden ended up in the San Francisco permanent exhibition.
Oh, okay.
So that's permanent. All of this is actually mainly all fresh material.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, so big thank you to Cone to keep sending material.
That's great. Our friends at Cone and also Tonello, a clap for them for having that together. Amazing.
For putting up with me. So yeah, it's all new. So it was all like washed using ozone technology in Italy, which is obviously a sustainable way of doing it, just to give it texture, because otherwise it would all be the same shade. And then Cone's been sending so much material. Uh-oh. Am I still there? Yep.
Yeah, you're here now. How big is that? Is that like 12 feet long?
I lived in Europe for a long time, and I only read so 12 feet. 12
Meters. Okay, give me some meters, LB.
15 maybe.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of meters in it. You come across, obviously this is thank you to, I don't know who said that.
Yeah.
She said from Ian Berry, which is strange. So some of the work in the exhibition is quite old. This is, thanks Sam. This is from 2012, I think this one. It's in your city, New York. And this is all on the subway. And this is like when I really started developing the technique of making denim shine. And I will rush because they actually said in a second I've got 20% battery left.
Oh,
so you've probably never seen
battery.
These okay. I'll be fine. Okay. This is from, I can plug it in as well. This is from Pepe Jeans bought this one, and seen in Los Angeles.
And so this is going on until April 5th that you can see it at the museum. So it's about a 5-month time frame.
Yeah, it's really good actually. That I'm hoping that life could be a little bit better by March. Because I lost everyone from England. He was planning on coming, all the clients. I saw a question from Mosh in there. From Germany and France. So I lost a lot of people, but it's been brilliant how many people have come from Holland already. And for those who went to the first Denim days, this is a kind of mix of the newsstand.
Wow.
I just changed a little bit.
That is a lot of work.
2012, I think, this one. I keep saying I'm not sure how the colours come across because it's really, really hard. Yes, we met there, Sam. I actually met loads of people through Denim days, which is a good thing. But I've been saying to a lot of people, take pictures on vivid blue on the app because it becomes more like. So this is you see the flags with my name on them.
Yeah.
I said like last night there was a big TV commercial, and I used to make commercials, so it's quite cool to actually have one made for me. And cool. I keep forgetting there's more downstairs. You asked before we came on, how do you say Rijswijk?
Yeah.
And here it is.
Well, for Americans, that's a lot of J's in that word.
Yes.
And since they are silent.
There's been quite a few people who say, oh, like when you showed at the Rags Museum, I was like, yeah, I'll let you believe that. So a lot of people miss this one because it's hanging, and because it's in this country house here, and it's like a Dutch Renaissance kind of image, and the cafe, which is sadly closed, is here. We're not serving this kind of food, and no animals were actually harmed in this.
Oh, Ian, your parents are on here. That's wonderful. Mom and Dad, you should be very proud of Ian. Incredible the work that he's put together.
My mom's on TV.
I would love to hear what Ian was like as a little boy, and your interest in art as a child. Ian, was this something that you knew from the beginning?
Well, let's get me back on because there's some people watching the documentary. So I've just spent the last few days. 2 days ago I was at Amphi doing a lecture, and yesterday I had lots of students for 4 hours non-stop talking about my background and career, and they were at the stage where I'd suddenly decided that I wouldn't be an artist. And his sister's here as well. So basically it's just a family affair here. So I wanted to be an artist, and I didn't like listen to the people who thought there's no career in art, there's no future, there's no money, and I ended up going into advertising. I wasn't brave enough to go to art school. I got in, and suddenly the last minute changed to do advertising, which was a really creative course. But yeah, so I was saying to them, you know, how scared I was and how I understand how scary it was for them, as they're all choosing at the point where to go into fine art, photography, sculpture, fashion. So, you know, hopefully my story is a little bit motivating for them, that whatever decisions we made in the past doesn't have to be the direction we go.
Yeah, yeah. So which piece is the favorite of your parents? Do you know? Have they told you?
Probably the little one of Elliot's, because it is actually theirs. My mum complained once that she didn't have a piece, and I made one of Elliot, and I probably should make her another one because he's a lot bigger now. And he's been the star of a show because of I Clap For, and I made a little documentary, which that was back in the summer, or was it June? It was made, and I never put it out there because of the politics around it, just because it was so much about me and him. But previous to this, I showed about 20 people, and I think about 18 cried. And some people are just watching it right now before I go in. And I think in the opening, it's quite busy, but then obviously the museum gets quite quiet and it's slower for people to go around. And people have been watching it in the right emotion. So I'm just listening to their reaction before it finishes.
So tell us more about the exhibition book. Mohsen had asked about that.
Oh, good timing. Yeah. Here you go. So here's the book, which doubles as a catalogue and a book. You've got the Hotel California on the front. And it's got all the work from the exhibition, but also other work, which is about me, you know, from all different ages, generations.
And how can people buy the book if they can't go to the museum? Is it available online?
So I'm going to have it on my website, ianberry.art, very, very soon, and hopefully before the Christmas. As I say, I'm not the best at organizing all that. So that's going to be up in the next few days. It's 25 euros. And you had the last book. It's 2 or 3 times more heavy and been very productive. And it's got a really nice foreword by the curator and the museum director who can express words about my art, which I can't, which is really good. And yeah, it's yeah.
I love the title for the I love the title for the exhibit, Splendid Isolation, because the negativity of isolation, and yet I think in some ways we all felt a little relief and this, you know, global experiment of all being set aside and not, you know, not having to travel and really having to adjust our lives and how we can take that. Did you come up with the name Splendid Isolation, or was that done by the museum?
It was the curator, Diane Wind, who came up with it. And because I'm British, I have a different take on Splendid Isolation, which kind of fits now because of Brexit. Splendid Isolation was all a phrase in the 18th century about Britain, like, you know, going back on itself and not being this global empire, and, you know, not having big trade agreements and pacts. And am I still here?
Yeah, now I see you. You're back.
I've lost you, but anyway. So I had that, and I think, you know, it's all about, my work's always been about isolation. This year it became something quite different. And I think it was her celebration of, I've done quite a lot during isolation. I actually only realized yesterday how much I've done this year. So
you have not slowed down at all.
I've not slept.
You
so
haven't.
This is part of the documentary.
Okay.
We were going to project it actually down here, then we just put it on TV. That's my 91-year-old neighbor who I was looking after.
Wow.
So I don't want to ruin it. I'm going to put it online soon.
Okay.
And I was hoping for a picture of Elliot or something, because he's been the star of this show.
It's great. I mean, the
So the
emotion of
actual
I
original
clap
ones
for,
are
yeah. Yes, Ian does work very hard, and he's a very humble person.
Yeah,
And
you've
that's
got
coming
to
from your
realize the
sister.
source.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll save this one for when I put it online. Yeah, she's very biased. So yeah, so it showed like the different 20 clapping hands here. I think a couple of them might be actually in here. That's Elliot's. There he is.
And so do you think Elliot will follow in your footsteps in art?
There's times when he says like what he wants to be when he's older, but it's when he wants something, he's always like, Ian, daddy, 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 you're the best artist in the world. He's like, what do you want?
They do know how to get you. I'll tell you afterwards.
There he is. So I'll go into the next room where there's a kids making room. So there's all cacti there, making different plants.
Oh, how fun.
So he would love that, but hopefully some of the children are getting inspired and wanting to be artists. Go back up, because then maybe we can do the Q&A. I can go back to the sofa and let's look at me again.
Great. So anyone with questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A. If not, I have more for Ian, because I could talk to him for hours.
You want a photo? You're live. You're live on the BBC. Tricia's very beautiful. Yes, she's a beautiful wife. Yeah. So let's go back into the main room. So was it right to say it's quite a medium-sized museum? No, it's not. It's not as big as
yeah, I would say medium-sized, definitely.
Yeah, it's obviously not as big as a Tay, but it's certainly not small, because I'm out of breath walking around. We also put a lot of the videos, a lot of the pictures on the video.
Oh, great. It's much larger than I thought, Ian. I thought it was only going to be one room, but the way you have it set up, much larger than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it can be quite daunting, and like doing shipping this year has not been easy.
Yeah.
So I probably should have got my phone charger, because I'm scared. If it was 20% before, I'm scared what it might be on. I was trying to charge it as much as possible before, but yeah.
That's okay. We realized we only have about 5 minutes anyway, Ian.
Okay.
And everyone wanted to have the chance to see, walk through and hear your points. So how many artworks would you say are a part of the exhibit?
I should know that. Maybe because a lot showing like installations. It's quite hard, because like here you've got the Soho Records, which is kind of changed into a home context, and also like new pieces. So I think there's about 25, 30 different bits and pieces.
Okay. Great.
And so it shows quite a good range from 2010, I think the earliest work in the show is, to the same day as the opening. So yeah, so it shows quite a range. Right.
So 10 years of work there. A little bit, people always ask, and I've seen photos of your studio, and I hope when I can travel again to come visit you in London, how do you actually organize? I mean, I organize my jeans in my closet by color shade. What do you do for all of your denim? How do you find that amazing piece?
People don't think it's organized, but it is really organized, from light to dark on the floor. But then hanging up, I've got all the kind of jeans with nice washers in them, and without giving my secrets away too much, that's where the magic in my work is, like the different washers. Yeah. So people like Cohen have sent their samples, Pepe sent me a lot of jeans, and I've been saying the last few days, it's like having a big pot of paint rather than a small tube. So if I've got 20 pairs of jeans of the same type, then I get used to using them. I know that I can go from one corner of the piece to the other one, and it's just because I have improved as an artist because of that. Right. I'm not just saying that. The caveat of that is obviously people say I use worn jeans. These are samples. Normally in the past they would have gone to landfill to
Right.
um,
Yeah.
end that.
No, I mean, what better way than art to keep denim alive? Question here on what kind of glue do you use? I don't know if that's proprietary information or if you're
Yeah,
willing to
maybe, because it
share.
took a long time to practice. It's not textile glue. I couldn't use that. It's not super
Okay.
glue. I use a glue gun for the secret garden, but I don't use that
Yeah.
in the work.
Right.
And that's also the trick, because I was just saying to a lady who was here before we came on, and 15 years ago, I was putting glue on like this, sticking it down, and then it'd dry, and you get a circle dry. So
Yeah.
it's very uniform and flat.
Great. And so tell us about some of the other work, your exhibit in San Francisco. What else can people, where can they see you?
Because the big thing about my work is you need to see it in real life. So I
Yeah.
love this, that it's on until April 5th. And San Francisco is permanent exhibition, well, permanent installation in the entrance of what will be the new San Fran Flower Mart, which is a much bigger project than me. There's $1 billion, I think, invested into it. It's going to change an area of San Francisco. It's like really good urban development. And they approached me because of, they're going to be, and we hear this word a lot in Denim, sustainable. They're going to be
Yeah.
the most sustainable developer, I believe, in North America, maybe even the world. And they wanted me to show upcycling, but then it's the material of the workers in San Francisco. They're keeping blue collar jobs, and obviously it's a flower market, so it's
Right.
a hanging trellis of flowers. So that was fantastic, and we were going to have a big launch, but COVID affected that, like it's affected a lot of things. But that was fantastic. Cohen and Tonello again worked really hard on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did that installation at the beginning of the year, right, Ian?
I actually did that in 2018, but because it's a much bigger development than me, we had to keep it under wraps. And then we were about to launch it, and then lockdown happened, and we still haven't really fully launched it. I mean, the big building is going to be 2025 open. As I said, it's a redevelopment of the flower market, and above it there's going to be retail space, shops, offices. I mean, the architect drawings look fantastic, so I'm really proud to be involved in that. But where else? Crystal Bridges in America has a piece of mine, but I do want to get my work in more museums, so it can be seen in real life more. Just want to bring attention to this. You've got the Pantone poster for the Year of Blue, and I think they predicted it well that it was going to be the Year of Blue.
Yes, for sure. So what's next for you, Ian? Besides getting your work into more museums, do you have other projects?
I was supposed to be showing in my hometown, which is one of the birthplaces of the Industrial Revolution, in spring, but COVID messed that one up. There may be an Italian city where I might show in this spring, but I'm not going to tempt fate because we haven't fully sorted that one out. COVID again. I'm currently showing in Basel as well, in the museum I can't pronounce. I know you had it carved in blue the other day. And then the big one next year will be the National Textile Museum of Sweden. I used to live in Sweden, and it's not related to that, but if for years people said, "Oh, you should show there," and it's a fantastic museum in a town called Borås outside Gothenburg, or Göteborg, and really actually bigger than this space as well, so it's quite daunting. But that's really good. Brinton, he's the scissor man who helps me with scissors and also supplied the show. And hopefully we might have a Ian Berry scissor by then.
Oh, wow. Yes, you realize that the tools, it's not a paintbrush for you, it's really a scissor. So
look, we're closing up. we were actually really good that we did it here because it was really busy beforehand, and then it's closed and then the lights have turned off, but we're okay. Hey, Brent, thank you. So I met Brent in Kentucky, of all places, a few years ago, and really great guy making amazing scissors. So his logo was next to yours on the sign.
Great. Wonderful.
So anybody in Sweden who wants to come, or like the Nordics, I'm hoping life is a lot better by then, so people can travel. And maybe I might be making the body of work I was supposed to make for this show. So,
great. Well, we won't test the battery life of your phone any longer, Ian.
So it's probably about 6%.
Okay, all right.
It's
But
very
we
strange
really,
doing it on my phone because I normally do these
yeah,
on my laptop or the
I
desktop.
know, but it's so great to actually walk around and see everything and to understand and try to experience it, even if we have to do this through video, and to discover a little bit more about you, and your thoughts behind what you've put together with this incredible exhibit. Splendid Isolation. I think this period means something different to everyone. We wish everyone to stay healthy. Love what you've done with your work to acknowledge the first responders and the people who have done so much to keep us safe and healthy during this time and to provide us with what we need. And Ian, it's been a pleasure. It's always great to chat with you. And I wish everyone to check out more about the work of Ian Berry. Ian, how can people connect with you? Tell us your Instagram handle and your website again.
So it's, both of them is ianberry.art, which was really good to get that one. So you can connect. I think watch a lot of people who came over the weekend sharing pictures in the last few days, which is fantastic. As I said, I was never a big believer in Instagram, but it's helped the last few days. And yeah, follow on there because there's still a lot to actually post about this show, which I haven't even shown today. So yeah, I'm keeping in touch and comment and send love because it's very isolating sometimes working alone. So when you put something out there, it's always nice to hear from people. And I think most of this is a denim community, and it's been really fantastic to have met so many people, through different people. I met you, remember, in Italy. Same night I met Alice in Tonello, and and Cara, and so many connections have actually made me a much better artist. Learning about the material. Sometimes I find that I know too much about denim now because I don't need to know about denim, but there's so much fantastic stuff in technology like Tonello with the laser machines and washing. And we haven't even spoken about how you can make cotton and cheap jeans out of trees like you do.
Yes.
And it
Yes,
just always blows my
exactly.
mind. And I always act as if I don't know how it works, because if I don't know something 100%, I always act dumb and act as if I don't know how it works. But it always blows my mind. And obviously, when people talk about sustainability, you're at the forefront of it all. So it's really good to have you supporting the show and talking about you to the Amphi students and all the different students we get to meet, and we're all excited about it.
Thank you. Thanks. That's great. Yes. And if people want to learn more about how we can convert trees into sustainable denim, we actually are continuing our Live and Learn series, or Live and Learn, however you want to say that. And next week on Wednesday, we're having a live tour of our production facility in Lenzing, Austria. So you can find out more on Carved in Blue about that. And that's at 9, I'm sorry, it's at 10 Eastern time. So you can check out and learn more about what we are doing to make trees into denim. And so Ian, thank you very much. Ian's mom, dad, and sister, thank you for joining us today. We're very happy to meet the family.
I forgot to wear it the weekend. This is the Pin Your Thanks badge. You can get that at pinyourthanks.org. I think at the beginning when people wanted them, especially around Europe, it was a big shipping fee, so they didn't. So now you can get them at the museum, or you can order online and get them shipped. It's supporting, and watch Pin Your Thanks for the next few days, because you might find me having many talents in more than artwork. I can't even speak, but I might be able to sing.
Okay, to hear Ian sing.
So watch him in the next few days, and with some singing with some proper singers as well. But it's all for a good cause, and my sister's intriguing. She knows I can't sing. She definitely knows I can't dance. So yeah, I should say hi to them. I leave next week just in time to quarantine for Christmas. I've got 2 weeks of quarantine, and I've had to navigate the whole year by quarantining, which is not fun. So,
yes.
I'll be back in England
But we appreciate the sacrifice for what you did in order for this to come out to be an incredible exhibit. So thank you everyone for joining today. Take care. Have a good day.
Thanks, Tricia.
Safe travels, Ian.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.